Well, go
musically
ahead.
fried. It's pretty musically fried, honestly.
All right. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys. Sometimes, and I saw Donna earlier today, we have a few guests here. And sometimes I like to do a little refresher. Sometimes we'll have on guest speakers. And I'm going to go ahead and share just some of the leads that I'm marketing to. And I'm going to just show you where you get those. And it will vary by market. But it'll be good as a refresher or if you haven't seen that before. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just for the current teammates, if you get a chance, just go through the course again right here. And it goes everything from the tools we use to building list, picking markets, doing your due diligence, uh, finding buyers. That's always important. That's when we get paid. So selling the property. And in the library here, there's the letters and postcards we use, the agreements we use, but there's so much value here in the library. We have special guests here, everything from attorneys, title companies, our realtor right here, data providers, and there's so much information here. One of our teammates, Jay, presented on disposition, and he did another session on ChatGPT. And in there, he came up with many ways to go ahead and look at markets and find buyers as well. So I wanted to go over, you know, some of the lead lists that we build, and probably different than most people because many of these sellers are getting 2 postcards, 10 postcards, 3 letters. And so I like to market to list, which I call our 14 niche list. So we dig a little bit deeper. It takes a little bit longer sometimes. But what happens then, it's a lot less competitive. And we find people that really have pain points that need to sell. So I'm just going to go through a couple of those. And this is, again, is a refresher for some of you. I'm in Escambia County, Florida, and I can go to the tax collector's website, and this same website format is in many areas, but very quickly I can pull up all unpaid taxes. And the tax bills in Florida just went out November 1st. So there's 142,000 people that haven't paid their taxes yet. In about 10 months, most of the people will have paid their taxes, but this number is going to get down to about 13,000 people that are delinquent on their taxes. What this doesn't tell you if it's vacant land or not, and you can sort this by tax years, by dollar amount. But what I do if I want to find vacant land, this spreadsheet that I can download has account numbers. I can go to the PropStream, or I can go to the appraiser's office and get a list of all the vacant land. And that list also has an account number. Every property has an account number. So now if I have the unpaid taxes and then I have the vacant land, now I've got 2 Excel spreadsheets. And if the account numbers on both spreadsheets, I have a list of vacant land that's delinquent on the taxes. So we have a list currently of 1,650 people of vacant land of types that we want that are delinquent on their taxes. So we spent a little time after we built the list. We went through and looked to see if there were properties we actually want, and we narrowed it down to about 650 properties we actually want where they're delinquent on their taxes. So when I have a conversation with them, or I send them a mail piece, basically the message is you can either write a check or you can get a check. So the delinquent taxes is a very good list. But to dig a little bit deeper in this delinquent tax list, here they have something called certificates right here. So I pulled up the certificate list. That's this spreadsheet here. And there's 9,300 people that have certificates. And what that basically means is the county wants to go ahead and get paid their money so they can go ahead and plan their budget. But if the county doesn't get paid, they sell a certificate to the public for the amount of the delinquent taxes. That way the county gets their money, and now there's a certificate holder. He has that piece of paper, and after he's had that for 2 years, he can tell the county to go ahead and sell the property. So I put in here from 2018 to 2022, people that are still delinquent. There's 9,300 of them, and I do the same process, get the account number here, pull the vacant land list and get the account number. And now I have a list of people that are at least 2 years behind and many times many years behind. So you can see certificates here and there's a number. This person is probably 5 years behind on their taxes right here. And I can see the assessed value of the properties. And there's a lot of other fields that you can sort by right here. So the first two lists are just people that are delinquent on the taxes and certificates. And these people are chronically delinquent on the taxes. So that's the first two, and that's 2 out of the 14 buckets that we have, niche list. A next one here, these are properties that are going to tax deed sale. So these people have 3 choices. I'm going to go ahead and click on December, which is coming up. If the certificate holder doesn't get paid after 2 years, they tell the county to sell the property. So then it goes over to a tax deed sale. In December 4th, these people have 3 choices. Where it says redeemed, that means they redeem their delinquent taxes. If they don't redeem them, and I'll go back in time here, September 4th, if they don't redeem them, the green one here and the green one here, these were actually sold at tax deed sales. They lost their properties. The third choice they have, and now I'm going to go back out in the future again. Here, I'm going to go to February, and you can see a few people have redeemed them. Most have done nothing, but when it comes to be February 4th or 5th, their choice is to redeem it, lose it at tax deed sale, or sell it to someone like us. So usually when I want to do a deal quick, I have 2 lists that I market to. One is tax deed sales, because these people are going to lose their property. But what I like to do is buy the property directly from them before the tax deed sale for a few reasons. One is I'm not bidding against other people. And the other is I get better title to the property. So if I buy a property at a tax deed sale, the people that lost the property, they have 4 years to pay those taxes and reclaim their property back. So I like to buy it before the tax deed sale, so I don't have that 4-year period where they can come and get the property back. So the first one was just unpaid taxes. The second one was certificates, and these certificate holders are eventually going to tell the county to sell the property. So that's the first 3. I'll go over a couple more. I'm not going to go over all 14. This is actually the appraiser's site for Escambia County. And what I put in real estate search, well, I'm going to go ahead and click on a record, then I'll come back. What I put in the search was EST of, estate of. And so what it pulled up was 4,750 records. And you can see all these properties, these people are deceased, and the properties in the estate of. So when I come here, you can see that Marcia Williams, the properties in her estate, and the mail is going in care of Richard Williams. That is probably her son. And what happens many times, she's deceased. He can't sell the property. He doesn't have title to it. He can't sell it. We have a solution for that though. And what he's stuck with is the tax bill. So he's got a property he can't sell, and he's stuck with the tax bill, and he can either pay it or not. And so what most likely has to happen with this property, it has to go through probate. And if I called Richard and said, I'll buy it from you, but it has to go through probate. He's not going to want to pay the $3,500 for probate. I don't want to pay the $3,500 for probate. In our library, we have a session with a Florida attorney, Al Nicoletti, who's a probate attorney. And he's one of the few, and he's great. But what he'll do, we'll go ahead and get this under contract with Richard. Al Nicoletti will go ahead and do the probate, and he'll go ahead and get paid once we sell the property. The probate's cleared up and the property's sold to us. So I don't have to pay the $3,500. Richard doesn't have to pay the $3,500. And you can see back, I'm going to go ahead and type in estate of again. Estate of, do a search. Try to do a search. Okay. And again, here's 4,700 properties that fit that criteria. then I would have to do the same thing and determine which ones of these are vacant land. So that process is actually pretty easy. I've got an account number, or if I just want to spot check them, another way I could kind of do it is look at the assessment here and sort by assessed value. And some of these are assessed at $1 because they're junky lots. But I would sort by assessed value, and typically the ones that are assessed from $10,000 to $30,000 or $40,000, we could do that, or we could go ahead and do an advanced search and just come up with the ones that are vacant land. But as you can see here, as an example, we'll just click on another one here. This property is in the estate of, the mail's not going in care of someone else. So that may not be a great solution. See another one here. And some of them don't make sense. I mean, this one here, where my cursor is, this person owns 105 of 1,440% interest. There's too many people in that transaction. So the ones I'm looking for are the ones that are just estate of right here, and the mail's going in care of someone else. So delinquent taxes, certificates, properties that are going to tax deed sale, properties that are in the estate of and the mail's going to someone else. And this one here, and it took a little bit of work, but I can sort this. This is a county recorder's office, and I can sort by document type. Well, CCO means certified cost order. It's basically when someone has a code enforcement lien. So I'm going to go down to number 20 and show you an example. And this property here, you'll see two places where there's large dollar amounts: daily fines and county abatement fees. County abatement fees is typically when the county came in and tore a house down and they had to pay the contractor $3,000 or $6,000. That's an abatement fee. I cannot get those waived. These daily fines here were $9,500, and now they've been discounted to $3,400. Most sellers don't know I can typically get 100% of the daily fines waived. So an example of that is, we had a seller that had a vacant lot. They had $20,000 in code enforcement liens. The property was worth $20,000, so they had no equity. I met them at their bank. I gave them $700, and they signed the property over to me, and I had it notarized right at the bank. But the property I'm buying has $20,000 in liens. There was $10,000 in daily fines, and there was $10,000 in county abatement fees. I bought the property. I had to pay the $10,000 in county abatement fees. I turned around once I got the property. The county waived the daily fines, $10,000. So now that I'm into the property for $10,700, I sold it to Habitat for Humanity for $20,000. So just because of knowing that I can get those daily fines waived, the seller had no equity in the property, but I built $10,000 worth of value from going back to my search and knowing how to search by document type. And this is a way that I can pull up all the code enforcement liens in a county. So what you're going to find, though, some of the information I'm showing you varies by county. So sometimes when I'm picking a market area, I want to be able to build a great list like these 14 buckets, but I also want to go to the county websites and see ones that make it positive to work efficiently in that county. Next bucket, and this is PropStream, and they changed it like 4 days ago, so my maneuvering around it has slowed down quite a bit. But what I'm looking for is expired MLS leads. So I went to PropStream. I searched vacant land. I searched properties that were on the multiple listing that failed. So I know these people tried to sell it and it failed. And so what I did for the dates that I'm researching is going back from 3 years to about 8 years ago. And the reason, I'll show you a property that we did from an expired MLS listing. I'm going to try to pull up the specific property that we did. And this is a list that I don't see many other people market to, but this property right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. You can see we bought this property in March of 2022 for $10,300. We sold it 3 days later for $25,000 to a builder. The way that I got this lead, I searched exactly what I showed here, expired MLS, and the person that we bought it from, she tried to sell it in 2019 on the MLS for $10,000. The reason I go back from 3 years to 8 years ago, in 2019, she tried to sell it for 10,000. It failed. Well, 3 years later, it had gone up in value. So I went to PropStream. I went ahead and pulled a list just like this. You see here on the right, there's 192 properties that fit failed listings on MLS. But I do have to go through them one at a time because after they failed 3 years ago, they may have subsequently sold the property. So I go through and I look for which ones that they failed, they still own the property. And when I'm also going to PropStream, I put in there that it's been on the market for a minimum, I think I put 50 days. So I don't want ones where they just tried to sell it for 1 day, but these were on the market for 50 days. And with her, I just got that listing just like from PropStream. I skip traced it. I called her up. I offered her $300 more than what her property failed on the MLS 3 years before. So we reached an agreement for $10,300. It didn't take us 3 days to sell the property. Soon as she signed it, probably 30 days before we closed on it, soon as we got that agreement signed, typically within 30 minutes, I'm already starting to market that property. So we work with many builders, and this happened to be a builder that bought this from us. And sometimes working with some of the builders, it's, we use Facebook Marketplace, we list some with realtors. I go to the National Association of Home Builders and see if they have a local chapter, and typically their directory's in there. And out of 81 builders in my area, we work with 11 of them. So I like to find 14 niche lists that other people aren't marketing to, and we spend a lot less on marketing because we have very laser focused list. It's a lot less competitive because other people, many times they just don't know the information or don't put the effort into it. And so I want to build a list, but before I do that, I have to pick a good market. And we have, you can use PropStream, Redfin, and Zillow, and we have some ways to use statistics doing that. This is a new tool that I'm just starting to use. As I get deeper into it, I can build it all the way out. And now that we've picked a market area, we build a good list. Now I want to automate my marketing. And what real estate people do, they're great at marketing. They're not great at follow-up. So, we'll do a mailing and then we'll mail out another 1,000 and another 1,000. When the pipeline empties out, we'll mail out another 1,000. Well, the goal is to always have that pipeline full and moving. So with this tool here, and again, it's relatively new to me, but I can go into Florida and I can put Pensacola per city. And I can do houses or land. We'll do land. And I'll say, show me what sold in the last 180 days. And we'll do a search. And instead of mailing to the whole area, what I like about this, it shows how many transactions were in the last 180 days, and it breaks it down by zip code. So before, I'd market to the whole county or the whole city. Well, now I wouldn't market to this bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I may market to the top 4, 5, or 6, or 7 zip codes because there's activity. If these are buyers, if there's buyers, there's sellers, and I can find the buyers very quickly. Oh, I got to check a few of these. So if I check a zip code, or if I have a property and I want to find buyers very quickly, I can go ahead and find the buyers, see who's active. So right there, I can go ahead and find the buyers. I can go ahead and create a list. And if I create the list, I'm going to have all these buyers' contact information, how much they paid, and the information I'll have on every property will look something like this. This is a list, and this is a test here. But here's a list of about 550 people. Well, if I want to look at a property, and I can look at a snapshot, and this is a house, but I can look at the house, I can see their situation. So this is an absentee owner, a distant landlord. These are similar properties, so it automatically does this. I can click on one of these. If it's similar to one of my leads and add it to my list, I can see that, again, houses. These are sales of houses. These are, these are rents here. And as I scroll down, it's got a lot of additional information. The tax assessor's information here, the sales history of the property. But now I've built a list. What I want to do is automate my marketing. So we get a list. And I'm not an expert at this, but as I get better at it, and when I do a mailing, I have a phone number associated with a specific mailing. So if I have 14 different pieces of mail for 14 different situations and I have a different phone number for every one, when they call in, they know exactly what list it came from. It automatically updates the lead from a lead to it takes it out of just someone that's on a list. It converts it into a lead. And then if I want to mail, and we'll just do an example here. This would be a list for houses, but I can put together my different mail pieces. I can put together when I want them to go out. I don't have to touch it. Once it's set up, it just automatically does it. And I can go ahead and automate my text messages. They just automatically go out until I have my next response from the seller. And this is where you automate all this. And again, Louise and I are going to go ahead and build this out. And so if anyone happens to end up using this tool right here, you can see subscription and billing, manage accounts. I signed up the account. Louise signed up. So any changes I make in my account, when she logs in, or any teammates sign up, they'll have, if I have a new letter, they'll have the new letter. If I have a new postcard, they'll have the new postcard. So that's kind of the brief overview, and they have mail sequences, and they have a lot of choices. Let's go back. And again, different campaigns. One of them is a check image. Donna and we looked at this one earlier today, and it mails out a picture of a check, but it automatically fills out the check with the dollar amount, the seller's name, my signature, and it's got a letter with it. So if it was someone that was tax delinquent, I would go ahead and craft that mail piece to be towards someone that's tax delinquent. If it's one where the property's in the estate of, and the son's getting the letter, my mail piece is going to be different than a delinquent tax person. It's going to be directed towards, we can go ahead and help you with the situation, and we're happy to go ahead and take care of probate for you. So we want to get the right list built, the 14 different niche list buckets. We want to get the campaign built, the right letter going to the right person. So an expired MLS lead is a different letter than someone that the property's in the estate of their parents. So we're going to go ahead and build that out. So again, when someone eventually, or if someone does come in, like Louise, when we build those out, these people automatically get them. So the main thing was, built the list of, certificates, delinquent taxes, properties that are going to tax deed sale, properties that were in the estate of. This is code enforcement liens, where we can get the soft costs, the daily fines, we can get those waived. Expired MLS listings. And let's see, this was a neighbor to the one that I pulled up that we actually sold. Yeah, this was a neighbor to this one here, I believe. This one right here. So I showed you about 7 or 8 of the niche list. We have, again, a total of 14. I know I talk too much, but with maybe if you guys have any questions.
Michael, I have a question.
Why, certainly.
Can you show the probate letter? Is that a sample marketing piece?
Yeah, let me go ahead and I've spent about 80 hours on this, just learning
Yeah.
it. Louise spent about 12 hours, and she's a different generation than I am, so she is way ahead of me. But you wanted to see the probate letter?
Well, these are examples of different campaigns and the letters
Yeah,
that you
and
would
let's see if
send.
there's a
right?
probate one right here. So let's see what it is. And so what I would do is, and I can preview it, what I do is take this, bear with me.
Okay,
I haven't looked at this one yet, and so sometimes I do a soft approach. So I'm going to go ahead and edit all these and tweak them, but I want to tweak them for land. So as I go back here, go back to the mail sequences, as I do that, and then you can automate it, if you want to do mail, and you put together the workflow automation. So if I mail a letter, maybe 3 days later, I want a text message to go. Maybe 2 weeks later, I want someone to call them. And you just go ahead and build that all the way out. And that's this is a sample. This is Rob, who owns this company. He's an engineer, and he's been flipping properties since the year 2000. So I just took these came with the program, but I just took his and I made a copy of it, and I put our copy up here. So this is what we're going to do, is take this, similar to, it will take a second. There. I'm going to build this out for land. So, here it says contact number 1, this is a call. Contact number 2, this is a call. Contact number 3. Well, I'm going to put in here that if we talk to them, then what is the next thing we do? And so I can just go ahead and build this out. Or if I can't get hold of them, I can add a task, and the task could be, here, we'll do this, skip trace. And I can assign it to someone, and I can put this task when the task is due. And so I put 6:32 p.m. 2 days from now. And so it's pretty good. I just haven't got all the way through it yet, but I want to take it all the way through from, we did a mail, we didn't hear back. Let's go ahead and send a text message, and we can build out text messages for a year, and then if they respond, because the mail piece is going to have a phone number on it, and the text message is going to have a phone number associated with it. So anytime they respond to it, we'll go back to leads. And we'll get back to my dashboard, which I'm just playing around with. And so we can assign phone numbers, we can do workflow automation. This Deal Negotiator, as you get in there, they'll try to sell you some other products. Deal Negotiator is a product that I can use on these 451 people. I can automatically use Deal Negotiator and have it automatically create values based on the criteria I did. So I can create the values, I can put them in a text message, or I can go ahead and put it in a mail. I can put it on a check. And they also have and this is an upsell. They'll give you a link, and I'll see if I can find it in my email, and I'll show you.
Does this have ringless voicemail yet?
It doesn't. I don't believe it has ringless voicemail.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay, so it's called Deal Negotiator. Now I'm going to click on this link here to give you an idea what it does. Right here.
I think at 11:25, I saw it.
Yeah, so this one here, get the best offer on your land, please answer a few questions. So if I send a mail piece with a QR code, once they pull on that QR code, it just brings it, or on their phone, it just bring it up. And this is just taking them through a sales process. Do you want to sell your land? Yes, I want to sell. Do you have a land reference number that could be on the card? No. What county is it? Well, it's Florida. It's Escambia County. There we go. Escambia County. Yes, I have a street address. There it is. Iowa City, Florida. Zip. So this would be the seller filling this out, and it takes them about 30 seconds. I can tell them they can get an offer in 30 seconds. Subdivision, NA. Lot. This is if they know it. Is the land next to a road? Yes. What is the name of the road? West Mallory. Is your land listed with a realtor? No. Are you the owner of the land? Yes. How quickly would you like to sell ASAP? Can you access your land? Yes, there's a road. Are there any improvements like buildings and structures? No. Is anyone living on it? No. Does your land have water or sewer? I put yes. Electricity, yes. Lot size. Next. Improvement cost, 0. How much do you think you could sell it for? It was improved. $15,000. That's what they want. Do you have a mortgage? No. Are there any other liens? No. If we could buy your land as is and cover all the closing costs so you could get all your money, what's the least you would sell it for? Well, not 15, I'd do 12. Next. We'd like to make sure we can make you the strongest offer possible. What is your absolute best price? Please enter the lowest price you'd be willing to sell it for. 11. And now it's calculating their offer. And in this case, the property's not worth much more than they want. So based on what we wanted, we can't present an offer. Or if the property was worth maybe $20,000 and they want to sell it for 11, it would actually come up and calculate the offer with them. So it says here, if you can't take our offer, are you willing to take it over time, pay over time? Yes, I'm ready to sell. What's your best number? Email address? We'd like to coordinate a time to contact you with your offer. Can we text you to schedule a time? Do you have another lot? No. Thanks for contacting us. And now that that's filled out, I could be sleeping and it can do this, but then it also sends me an email with all the associated information that they filled out. So it's just another part of FreedomSoft. I'm not encouraging anyone to sign up, but what I'm trying to do is we're great at marketing. We could be better at follow-up, and I know that we've lost deals because our follow-up hasn't been as good as it should be. And this will allow us. So my goal is to double my income in 90 days, and I think I can do it with this. We'll just have to do that. And so I wanted to share with you, these niche lists. And these are samples of 7 or 8 of them, not all of them, expired MLS listings. Properties that are in the estate of, and a few samples as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over. And part of it was repetitive for some of us, but sometimes it's good just to get a refresher. We may see another niche that we hadn't been doing. Maybe I'm not doing expired MLS listings, or I'm not doing tax deed sales, or I'm not doing the certificates where these people are, at least 2 years behind. So I, again, try to find niches where I spend less money on marketing. It's less competitive. And now that I'm doing that and I picked a good market, automate that as much as I can. So I know I talk quite a bit. This is being recorded also, and we'll have it either in our library, our private YouTube channel, or if you're visiting, reach out to Jan, or message me on Facebook. And as it processes, we usually process this tonight or tomorrow morning. We can send you the Zoom link. But when you get the Zoom link at the very bottom, it's got a passcode, and the passcode's kind of in hieroglyphics. It's kind of hard to follow, so just copy and paste it, and then you can get access to this recording. So what do you guys think? And maybe you're already marketing to many of these niche lists.
No, this is really helpful. Very helpful.
So it's a little, I've been at this for, I don't know, I don't like to tell you how long I've been at this, you know, land for 8 years, but the real estate for about almost 40 years. And in there, these are just some of the nuggets. There are so many more things that we do that is quite frankly different than most people. You know, I'm not saying we're the only ones doing it, but one thing that I like that we do is, you know, everyone wants to do their due diligence on the property. I like to do my due diligence on the seller. So I dig real deep. I go to all the county records and look for child support issues. Many times we already know their age, their gender, their marital status, you know, what their annual income is, what their net worth is, what their credit scores are. But then I go to another website. It costs me $1.75 a search, but I do it when I'm going to make an offer because it basically does a background on them. And it looks for bankruptcies, liens, judgments, criminal history, business licenses, business affiliations. I'm looking for back taxes and again, child support and all those issues. So I could have two properties identical next door to each other. I may offer one guy 10,000 and the next person 6,000 because I understand their situations. So, you know, everyone does due diligence on the property, and I'm thinking you're doing half due diligence. You need to do it on the people.
True.
So it helps quite a bit. You know, I was helping someone today, and we pulled up a seller. You know, we were just kind of prospecting, and we pulled up the seller of the property, and we did the background, and the property was in the estate of, and the guy that we did the background on was getting the mail in care of. Well, he has fraud for forgery and, you know, just felonies and on and on. I'm not going to offer that guy a lot of money. You know, I may be able to solve the probate issue for him, but you know, if he's doing forgery on checks and all that, you know, I may not even want to work with him anyway. But just spending that $1.75, you know, many times it can make you thousands of dollars.
What service do you use for that?
Yeah, it's right here. I mean, I'm extremely open, and there's probably other services that do it. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now it's going to give me send me an email, and I get a code, and I'll show you a sample. It's called IDI Core that you can see there.
Yeah.
And it takes about 3 weeks to get approved, but I like it. I don't have a subscription. I get a monthly bill, and they just go ahead and take it out of my account.
Yeah, a friend was using a service been verified before for similar stuff, but it didn't seem like it goes this deep.
Yeah, here's a sample. This is probably the one that I did today. Let's see. This guy here. And so I went ahead and ran this. The property's in the dad's name estate. The mail's going to this guy. But very quickly, here's his cell phone from, you know, 4 months ago right there. I can look at relatives and I can do backgrounds on them, addresses, IP addresses, email. But when I click on criminal history, okay, probation violation, deposit account fraud, bad checks, failure to appear, bad checks, financial identity fraud, violation of probation, first degree felony. I'm not going to offer that guy a lot of money. You know, so the guy next door that has the same property, identical property, I might offer 10,000. This guy might offer 3,000. But just for spending that $1.75 and understanding who I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, Gwinnett County, and sometimes when I do pull up criminal, it's just a, you know, speeding ticket. You know, so it can be. Yeah, I've had out-of-state fugitives to this guy's kind of a creep. But you know, just to show you an example. So I guess overall, our advantage really is we're better at the information than the sellers. We're better at the information than the buyers. Try to pick a good market, try to pick a good list. And the thing that I haven't done as good as we should is automation. And so I signed up for this. They have something called the 100 Offer Challenge. And I did that about 2 weeks ago. And you're on the Zooms Monday through Friday for an hour, and they just take you through their program. But if you didn't want to do it, we have a link, I think, where you can get started for $1. but it's called this 100 offer challenge, and it's on YouTube. If you type that in, and they'll have day 3. And what I like about it on YouTube better is they're trying to sell me an ad here, I guess.
And what happens is there's a component to it where you know that the action is moving you in the direction you want to go. And so there's a physical element to it when we take the action, but there's also a mental.
So I'm
That's
just,
not breakthrough.
and so with this, I can make 500 offers in 9 minutes. And I can go ahead and do it by text. I can do it by mail, however I want to do it. It automates it. And I need to practice with it. I'm a beginner on it so far. I want to be extremely proficient and share it. But here I like it because, I'm sitting there doing it and I just go ahead and put it on, 1.5 speed. So, I don't have to sit here. So I don't have to sit there for an hour and a half or whatever it was. Yeah, an hour and a half. And so it's 5 days. Louise went through it, and she went through it Monday and Tuesday. And I was amazed how much she just grasped the software much better than I do. I've spent 80 hours on it. She's probably spent 12, and she's way ahead of me. So what we're going to do is go ahead and build out all this workflow automation. So we stop letting those leads fall through the cracks. So back here, workflow automation.
Michael, where's the training for that, for the software? Is it YouTube, or did they send you something?
No, it's a mature company. So I can click on this little guy here, and here's some brief overviews of what it does. Or I can go to need help here and really dig deep. And when I go to this, you can go to the support center. I sent an email today on a question I had. Can I put a hyperlink in an account? And they got back to me probably within an hour. But in support here, I can go ahead. Okay, so we have onboarding. Here's how you do your research. Here's how the mail system works, how you set up your accounts, how the phone system works, generating leads. And when I click on one of these, then it continues. And here's the quick start guide. And so I can do it, and a lot of it's written, and a lot of it is.
So definitely make sure you are registered for those as well. Place to manage, follow up, and communicate with that. It will open up the My Account area. If you hover over your name and go to Settings, it'll show the Settings area. Okay, and we're going to try to get through a good bit of this today.
So that's kind of their, it's broken down right here. It's broken down very well. I'm not positive. They gave me a link that if I gave it to someone, it's going to charge them $197 to sign up. I said, I want the link where people can sign up for $1 for a 30-day trial. I sent that to Louise, and I'll put it in the chat. And I'm not positive, but you can go ahead and click on it and look at this here.
Real question is, are they going to get your $197 next month?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna, they get you in the funnel. They'll try to upsell you, but I'm going to go ahead and copy it, and we can go ahead and put it in the chat and see if it works. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. You guys can go ahead too and just see. And here is you sign up for $1. Sign up for $1. And when I went and did that, I put on my phone cancel in 28 days because I wanted to see how it went. The reason I started with it, I'm in another group where I'm getting coached, and the guy, his name's Eddie Speed, that's in the note business and creative financing, very well known, and he recommended it. So finally I got in there. I signed up, and in the years that I've been doing this, I think I use PropStream right now. It costs $97 to $127 a month. The starter account here is $197, but I can cancel PropStream. I have a DocuSign account. It costs me $300 a year. So my subscription expires March 12th or 13th. I put in on my phone today, canceled on March 1st. That's $300 a year. This has electronic signatures.
Oh, okay, so you're replacing that too. Are
Yeah.
you,
And so, and I'm sure there's probably some other tools that I can replace as well, but, you know, my goal is to get it, you know, and my account, they call it a coach's account. So mine was $297 a month. And it gave me a few extra things. So when you sign up, it gives you, I think, one phone number. But when I go back to my account, and you get 3,000 leads a month, and then it refreshes. But my account is, I can have 8 users on it, 6 websites, 3 phone numbers, 6,000 monthly leads. They're letting me use a tool here called the Deal Negotiator, where one can click on a QR code and get an offer in 30 seconds. That was extra. They gave it to me to play around with. But mine is, so I still have 5,100 leads. The skip tracing here is expensive. I would be cautious about it. It's convenient, but where I'd be cautious, like if you buy a very small batch, it's like 45 cents a lead, which is very expensive. If I buy 5,000, it's 15 cents a skip trace. So it's $750. Well, I only have 2,000 or 3,000 people that I market to anyway. So if I did it, I'd just do it mostly for convenience. But it gives me the phone numbers and the emails automatically go into the system. And so if I click on a record, go back to a record, and see, most of these I don't have any phone numbers or anything for. But if I click on one, it would, if it pulled in 5 phone numbers, they'd all be right there, and I could click on them right there, and it's got the dialer built in. And so then it automatically dials, or I can automatically text. And so if I want, with this lead, if I want to do other actions, you know, I can generate a document, I can send direct mail, stop direct mail, skip trace. So if I click skip trace, and you just have to map these fields here. So it'd be owner of record would go, well, I'm not great at dragging and dropping, you know, very very quickly for some people, not for me. And then I skip trace it. And so it's kind of a all in one.
would, in terms of the texting abilities, would it replace REI Reply?
You know, I've used REI Reply, I've used Launch Control, and what I would do to look at that, and I would go back here, and we type in SMS, and right here, it's all the modules on SMS. So it has spin text, so you don't get spam. You put in hi, hello, hey, and it changes the words. But right in here, it's pretty easy to find. So it'll go through here. And when I got a phone number, it took about a day to get the phone number approved. And so now I got the phone number approved, I can go ahead and SMS, which the only person I've SMS so far is me. So,
Yeah, I just didn't know if it could text groups, you know, like REI Reply does.
well, you can, for texting, you can't do it in a batch. You know, you can have 500 records and click on it in 2 minutes, you know, click, 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 click. You can
Okay.
do that. But
You
I think they limit me to 500 texts a day. And I don't know if that's for my account or per phone number.
It sounds like it could get the same reach, but it's just the interface might not be as easy and automated as REI Reply.
Yeah, this is kind of all in one instead, you know, it's doing 20 things.
Yeah.
So REI Reply is probably better at that one thing.
Yeah, sure.
And it says you want to set up broadcast sending out SMS right here. Watch this video. And I haven't watched this yet, but, you know, so they have good written format, and they have, you know, good videos as well. So I don't know, someone click on that link and see if that link worked and it came up, you know, $1.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And I, you know, whether that's linked to me or not, it doesn't make any difference. But if someone was interested, Louise, when I went to my account, she signed up for $1. And, you know, right here, we saw is my accounts. So and there she is right there. So she's going to cancel in like 28 days, but I wanted her to go ahead and play around with it on her own as well. And then she has access to my account too. And if you have other people here, you can control what fields they can go to in your account. You know, maybe you don't want them in, you know, how much profit you made on a deal or something. You know, maybe you don't want them sending SMS, so you can, you know, control the workflow and the access that they get.
Yeah.
So it's a little investment, you know, but if I cancel PropStream, and I'm happy with it. I've been using it for 4 years, so I could motor around it. They just changed their layout. So when I logged in here about 3 or 4 days ago, also the way you access the information was just in a different format. So I'm not quite as quick as I was, but if I could cancel PropStream, DocuSign, and probably a couple of the other services I use as well. So my goal was to share, you know, picking a market, building a list, and you guys saw some of the niche list, about half of the ones that we do, and then taking that information and automating it. You know, so my goal is to double what we do within 90 days. Louise, we can probably build out our initial draft of the system. It'll probably take, you know, 3 or 4 days. It won't take that long, but it will evolve. We'll keep adding new letters. We'll take some of their letters. We'll tweak the probate letters, make it appropriate for land. And in our course, a lot of the content that's there, we'll just go ahead and we can also put it in, if it would be a sample postcard, you know, sample postcard, blind offer letter, and here's the tax time one. This is the one that we sent out, so they get it when they get their tax bill in Florida. But just take these and put all that in here. So then when someone went to settings, they went to a mail sequence, all of ours would be right there. Gordon's not going to play for us.
I'm just wondering if this thing can do my taxes too.
Yeah. You know, and this is made for real estate, but I could see someone could use this product for, you know, wouldn't have to be real estate, but you know, that's what it's built for.
The automation.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So you just don't let those leads fall through the cracks, and then we do another mailing and it's another expense.
Yeah.
You know, and then the ones that don't make sense, we're taking them out of our mail campaign, just being more efficient with it. You know, and these are, you know, we buy houses. They had one postcard that I really liked. Let's see. It may have been this one. But yeah, I think it was this one, but they'll go ahead and get the postcard of the letter and there's a picture of their house right there. I could go ahead and do this. Well, here's your house or here's your lot. Craft this to the right bucket, you know, so if it's probate, just change this verbiage here to the right bucket and then put a QR code right there where they can go ahead and get an offer, get your offer in 2 minutes. And now they've engaged. There's a phone number on there or the QR code. It'll know exactly who's responding and which lead that goes to. And then you can automate it to push it through, you know, from it was a lead. Now you've turned it into a more of a prospect. Or instead of a prospect, just instead of a list, it turns it into a lead actually. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share. If you guys have any other questions, or if you want to get hold of me, I'm on Facebook Messenger. My cell phone's 850. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. You know, I try not to get a million phone calls, but it's okay. you can message me. I'm, the one thing, and I think Donna knows, I'm accessible. So, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy as long as you want, or if you need anything, you can go ahead and just shoot me a message on my cell phone, or just Michael Robertson on Facebook Messenger. And I'm sure Jan sometimes uses my messenger. You guys have my contact information.
How do we rewatch the video, Michael?
Pardon me?
How do we rewatch the video?
Yeah, rewatch the video. We're going to go ahead and post it tomorrow. It will be in the course, but also reach out to me or Jan on Messenger, and we'll process it overnight. We'll process it in the morning. We'll take out the first 3 or 4 minutes when we're just chit-chatting, and we'll process it in the morning, and then you'll get the Zoom link. Jan will send it to you, and then you can go ahead and rewatch it. What I suggest, though, is you download it, because eventually I go into my Zoom account and I'll delete to open up some memory. So usually about once every 2 weeks, I'll go in there and delete some old ones. So, go ahead and download it, and then you'll have it as long as you want.
Okay, thanks. I had dogs barking and an interruption that I missed some of it, and I wanted to make sure to be able to get back and watch it. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you can play it at 1.5 speed if you want. Just go ahead and zoom through it.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. So I appreciate you guys. A little bit of repetition for some of us, new for some of us, but sometimes I like to even go back through some of our buckets and think, I should probably do some more expired MLS listings. And usually if I want to get a deal quick, it's expired MLS listings, and I have too many windows open here. It's tax properties that are going to tax deed sale, because those people, it's going to tax deed sale in 3 months or 7 months. They either have to pay the taxes, let it go to tax deed sale, or sell it to us. So I appreciate you guys. If there's any last questions, go ahead and shoot. Otherwise, everyone have a good night, and you all know how to get hold of me.
Yep. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, guys.
Bless you,
Thank you.
Michael.
Thank you.